The following podcast contains spoilers for... What do we watch?
Lucky number Slevin.
Yeah. The following podcast contains spoilers for Lucky Number Slevin. Whatever happened to Josh Hartnett? He's in Oppenheimer. This is going on too long. You have been warned!
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of KFR News Radio. This is your host, Glen Button, along with your host, Miguel Magusto.
Yes, how are you, Benjamin?
I started waving my arms like I knew which side you were on, and I just forgot. I just forgot which side you're on. You're over here,
You're over there. So, yeah, there we go. How you doing, Glenn?
I'm not too bad. My stomach's a little very sad today. I think I had too much upsetty spaghetti. I don't know what's going on.
I had a lot of happy spaghetti, but it might give me issues later. We'll see.
I am very jealous. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but
if I have to update it or stop this abruptly.
This little fucker needs to stop. But how are you, Mike? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. We're currently potty training our eldest boy. So
yeah, I need help with that too.
Potty training is not fun.
No,
he's still cute, but it's not fun. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm doing good. Watched some movies. I guess I'll go first this time.
Yeah,
switching
go for
it up on you. I watched 14 in total. Of course, I'm not going to go through all of them. So on February 15th, for those of you who need to know the day, I was going to go see The Teacher's Lounge at Bryn Mawr Film Institute. I invited you, but you had prior obligations.
Yes.
But when I showed up there, the sign said the one showtime that I was going to go see was canceled.
Oh, and fun.
Being a parent, I no longer can just be like, I'll wait until the next one. So instead, I went to see Lisa Frankenstein.
Yep.
At King of Prussia. It is Zelda Williams, of course, the daughter of the late, great Robin Williams. She has a lot of promise. She had a vision and everything. The writing was fun, but I feel like it felt like a first film. And
I could see that.
Yes. So I think there's a lot of promise there, but, the movie itself isn't great. It's mostly pacing. It's slow when it shouldn't be slow, and then fast when it shouldn't be fast. So it's weird.
And did you ever watch Warm Bodies?
No. Is she in that, or is it just a similar story?
No, it's just that somebody mentioned to me that the plot of what seems like Lisa Frankenstein seems like it was pretty much Warm Bodies, and I was curious as to the similarities, if there are any at all.
My understanding is that Warm Bodies is just a zombie that she falls in love with, and it has nothing to do with her bringing him back from the dead or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Granted, she didn't really bring him back from the dead in this. It was just kind of a freak accident.
Oh.
But it's a little different. I'm just going off of what I know from Warm Bodies. It's less edgy from what I remember of doing theater walks in Warm Bodies.
I just love you.
Yes. Then I watched The Color Purple, the musical from 2023. If you saw The Color Purple, hold on, we got breasticles coming up. Oh boy, cover it everything. It's the same thing as the other one. I'm doing a horrible job covering that. It's the same thing as the other one.
I'll cover it.
Just a musical. So there's that. Then I watched another musical called Dick's the Musical. It's a movie that itself isn't that great, but it looked like they had fun making it, and that made it fun watching. And that's really all I can ask, is that if you have fun making it, I'll probably like it to some extent. Then I watched Dream Scenario, a Nicolas Cage movie where his character appears in everyone's dreams. It is a hard to watch movie because it's just so goddamn awkward. And yeah.
I'm sure Nick Cage had fun with it then.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part, but it's I had to be playing a game just to distract myself from the awkwardness the whole time.
Oh wow, that's pretty rare for you too.
Yeah. I don't like things where there's like tension because someone's awkward.
Yeah.
Someone that doesn't know social cues and everything is just it makes me uneasy, which is weird because often I don't understand social cues. So who knows?
Right there with you.
Then we watched Drive Away Dolls together, Ethan Cohen's latest movie. We have a review for that up on the YouTube. You can check that out. I watched Major League, the baseball comedy with Charlie Sheen and other people.
Good movie. I liked it.
It's fine. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Watch Lucky Number 11. Get to that in just a second. Rewatch Dune, and then the last thing I'll talk about is I watched Dirty Harry because I've been reading the Zodiac book, the book about Zodiac, which was the movie from 2007 is based on that book. It's very loosely based on that, and Dirty Harry's just kind of dumb and bad at his job. And it's definitely like, and this is not to, knock on people who believe in these ideologies. It is right-wing porn because it's just like, oh, I don't want to follow the law. I'm going to just shoot people I don't like and not follow the law to a D.
With my revolver.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool movie for the most part, but there's parts of it where I'm just like, Dirty Harry, you're a dumb motherfucker. He'd be in jail right now. He would be in jail right now if you just did things the right way. But instead, he takes longer to go to jail. But then there's a fight at the end, so I guess that's good.
Oh, nice.
We want to put 40 children in danger. But that's all I watched. We'll get into Lucky Number 7 in just a second. But Glenn, what did you watch?
Oh, I watched 7 movies, including one of them including Lucky Number 11. I'm going to crank these out because they're all movies that were in the 2000s, and I just was on like a little spree of the 2000s movies.
Yes.
Except for one which we saw in theaters as well. One was Walking Tall with Dwayne Johnson. This was his one of my favorite Dwayne Johnson movies, still to this day. Not that credit is due on the newest ones because they're not that good. Walking Tall is one of my favorites. Got Johnny Knoxville and all that. Great movie. Then we watched Little Nicky, and by we I mean me. Me and my multiple personalities. I barely watched this one. This one's just okay out of all his movies back then.
Quentin Tarantino's got a cameo in it.
That he does. So that was just on in the background. I just did other things instead. Catch Me If You Can. I put that one on. I love this movie. One of my favorite Tom Hanks and Leo DiCaprio movies, separated but also at the same time because they're both in it. It's so good. I love it so much. Watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith because the Donald Glover came out with his little series of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I was like, yeah, I want to watch the original. And because I don't remember what the series is on right now, I'll just watch this one here instead. So I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Man, imagine creating a movie of two people in their absolute prime attractiveness. It's crazy to think about. This is what this movie was. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the TV show too, to both Donald Glover and something Erskine. What's her first? Maya Erskine.
Yeah, I have no idea who she is, honestly.
She's from the TV show Pen 15, where she plays I believe they're 12 or 13 years old, and that they're adults playing 12 or 13-year-olds, and it's really funny. Well, yeah.
But watched that, and then after that, I watched Four Brothers, which was a great movie I loved. It's got Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese Gibson, Andre 3000, and Garrett Hedlund. This movie still holds up. It's so good. So good. Why you got to shoot an old lady, people? Don't shoot old ladies. They're nice. And then we watched Drive Away Dolls, and then after that, I watched by myself, because you weren't with me, Lucky Number 11.
Yes.
And we should probably get into that now.
Yes, let's get into it. So, without any further ado, Lucky Number 11. Ooh.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the boss.
They picked up the wrong guy.
Wrong guy for what?
Whatever it is you wanted to see me about.
Do you know what I want to see you about?
No.
Then how do you know I have the wrong guy?
Then right across the street lives this other crime boss they call the rabbi.
Why do they call him the rabbi?
Because he's a rabbi.
But I'm not Nick Fisher. And who the hell are you? I'm Slevin.
That's not Nick Fisher.
I know.
He set you up. You should run.
I can't.
They'll kill you if you stay.
They'll kill me if I leave.
Time's up.
A case of mistaken identity lands Slevin into the middle of a war being plotted by two of the city's most rival crime bosses. Under constant surveillance by Detective Burkowski and assassin Goodcat, he must get them before they get him. Directed by Paul McGuigan. I think I said last time I haven't heard of a McGuigan in a very long time, since high school, so it was very weird to see there. Written by Jason Smilvick. Yeah, I just said that in all lowercase. I don't know why. Yeah. Stars Josh Hartnett, Ben Kingsley, Morgan Freeman, Stanley Tucci's in there, Lucy Liu, Bruce Willis, Michael Rubenfeld, just a bunch of other people's in there. This movie was one of my mid-2000s just loveliest movies that I've ever watched. This had me in I fucking hate saying this quote, but this one had me in a chokehold. This and Smoking Aces. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put the G.
Smoking Aces is another one.
Because they came out like pretty roughly at the same time.
Yeah. It was when everyone was trying to do kind of what Guy Ritchie became famous for. Mm-hmm. You know, those low budget gangster movies that are very stylized and how they're shot and everything.
Yeah. Both those movies had me in a chokehold around 2006. This one specifically because Josh Hartnett was a pretty new face to me. I'm pretty sure he was pretty new to the scene too, as well. When did his career actually just kickstart? Because this was like the one I was like, damn, this guy's so handsome.
Yeah. He was in
City.
Halloween H20.
Sin City was the big one before this one, where I was like, "That guy's fucking awesome."
Oh well, he was in Pearl Harbor in 2001.
That too, but I hadn't watched Pearl Harbor at the time.
And Black Hawk Down in 2001. I would say 2001 is when his
also 40 Days and 40 Nights. That one popped. I saw that one after this though. But yeah, he was pretty new to me, and he just started getting his little comeuppance here in Hollywood. And then didn't really do too much, honestly, after this. I don't know what happened. I don't know. People just stopped caring for him, or he just wasn't. I don't know.
Someone got fatigue. It was either Hollywood or him got fatigue.
I didn't get fatigue with him because I always thought he was great, and I wished he was in more. But this movie just holds a little special place in my heart because it was so damn good in my younger years when I was, how old was I? 13 years old. So I thought everything was badass when you had a gun and a scar on your nose.
Yep.
Mike, how did you feel about this movie and your younginsness?
Yeah, so we established that this was the first movie I ever got on, from Netflix via their DVD program, Rest in Power. And so it was one of those movies that was always on my radar when it came around. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I never saw it in theaters, and I was just waiting for the day that I could watch it, either by buying it on DVD or getting it through Netflix DVD. So I was really excited to watch this when it came out, and I was really obsessed with it for a long time. I really liked that stylized action. I was also obsessed with Smoking Aces around that same time.
We had something in common in the movies for a while there. Whoa. Yeah,
though that 2007 is really when my film taste turned around. But this was always kind of good. It's I think it's an underrated movie. It's a solid film. It's not a super intelligent film, but it doesn't need to be. It's got its style, it's got its intrigue with what the mystery that's going on, and of course Josh Hartnett, Bruce Willis, Ben Kingsley, Morgan Freeman, Lucy Liu, and many others. It's got a great cast, and so I was just really into this movie. As I said last week, it was my AOL Instant Messenger name, Lucky Slevin number 9, or Lucky number Slevin 9.
Number 9.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Lucky number Slevin 9. I absolutely loved it. I watched it a bunch. I forgot about Stanley Tucci. The Tooch, how could I forget about Tucci?
I completely forgot Tucci was in here.
And this movie also made me kind of obsessed with Ben Kingsley for a little bit, because his work in this is really interesting. It's now I think it's probably going a little overboard at times with the accent.
Yeah.
But it's still.
But he's a rabbi.
Yeah, he's a rabbi. It's still an interesting choice, and he is always interesting to watch on throughout the film. And I just love the idea of two head-to-head mafia bosses that worked together at some point, and they're in towers. It's I don't know. It feels very this is going to sound
Just
very
taking refuge from each other for 20
this is going
years.
to seem very, pretentious, but it seems very Shakespearean, something about it.
Yeah, actually.
And yeah, it's just such a fun movie too. It's witty. It's I don't know. It's I loved it just as much as I did back then, which I was not expecting. I was expecting, the time between the last time I watched it, which was probably when I was like 21 or 22, to now, for me to see it in a different light. But I really didn't. I was just kind of transported back to that. How old was I when that came out? 18-year-old kid. When I watched it, I was younger when it came out. And just like loving it. It's such a cool movie.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, it's super slept on, very underrated. I don't hear anybody ever talking about this movie, but it's always fond in my mind. You were saying that it doesn't really have to be a smart movie, but there's something about the script and the dialogue that just like you were saying, it's witty. It's just so just the way they talk to each other, and I mean, obviously that's on-set chemistry as well between all the characters, but I think that's also just Josh Hartnett and how good he is at like conversating, just especially these lines that are.
He's very natural.
And I mean, I thought the script was really clever, considering this could have been just like a nonchalant, just like B movie. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but the dialogue and the script, I think, upped it from what it could have been worse. If me and my brain are trying to say, what's funny about it, I think Bruce Willis is the one I feel like who's kind of not. He's not. He doesn't have your attention at all. Like compared to everybody else, you think everybody else is so fucking cool in this. You're like, oh man, Morgan Freeman's kind of gets an ass. He's an ass. He's just a strong asshole. And then Ben Kingsley's this just like stoic, cool rabbi dude, and everybody's cool. And then you kind of just got Bruce Willis. He's like, yeah, I know the kid. Yeah, I got things with the kid.
Yeah, I think that was more of a
it's
writing
his characters.
thing.
It's not him.
Yeah,
but I feel like in a movie where Bruce Willis is in this, you're like, holy shit, he's probably gonna do some crazy shit, and then he's like, not as like on level with everybody else as you'd expect.
He's also just kind of like that in all of his movies. Not to say he's a bad actor. It's just he got typecast as the stoic guy.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is usually he's got at least a little bit more charisma in his roles.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, that's McClane and shit like that. I guess I'm kind of comparing that too. But in this, it's kind of just strong, silent, does his job, gets out. He's like got this reputation. So like, I guess that is the character. I wasn't ever saying that Bruce Willis himself was bad in this. Just saying that on everybody else's eyesight, everybody else is shining, and he's just like this dark figure in the background, kind of.
Yeah. But it also made me miss Bruce Willis in movies. Obviously, we know, unfortunately, he has... I forget the actual name, but it's like a form of dementia.
Yeah.
So he's retired from acting. And for the last maybe 5 years of his career, people kept shitting on him because he was just picking these horrible movies and phoning it in, not knowing, obviously, that he was...
What was
slowly declining, and he was just making the money that he could before he had to stop altogether. But like the great movies, Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, even Glass and Split, and not to just name M. Night Shyamalan movies, but
Die Hard, all
Die
Hard.
He was Looper. He was always just like a strong, silent, stoic presence. And watching this really made me, miss him in those roles. Because while it's not overly impressive, it is it's a way to add danger. While I knew what the ending was of this, with Bruce Willis and Josh Hartnett having worked together the whole time, it still added an element of danger that we, you and I feel like the biggest problem we have with a lot of movies is that none of them feel dangerous.
Yep.
But he was always that element of danger. Like, what is his angle? What is he doing? Like, who's he working for and stuff like that. So yeah, while it's not impressive, it's definitely like a missed atmospheric presence that a lot of movies nowadays could deal with, and I think that is an underappreciated role in a movie like this. While everyone's chewing up the scenery in a fun and great way,
Yeah.
he's just standing there like I'm holding all of my cards close to my chest so no one sees them, and I love that. I absolutely loved him in this.
I think it helps that there's just majorly like 5 or 6 characters, and it's not just like all these other characters. I think
it feels low budget.
Yeah, I think the fact that it stays with Morgan Freeman, Ben Kingsley, a little bit of Bruce Willis, Josh Hartnett, Lucy Liu, Stanley Tucci. The fact that it stays with that kind of core and doesn't stray off, and you have to like go on the all these other trails with all these other people. I think it holds more to it with the chemistry and just the conversations and everything. I think it holds more true to just how fun the movie had with itself and its characters.
Absolutely,
than just going over the top. I thought this movie's really good. It to me it holds up really hard.
Yeah,
and it's still just not talked about enough, in my opinion. And how handsome Josh Hartnett is, man! How could he?
Absolutely. There are some smaller actors here that good character actors that I feel like are. This is one of Corey Stoll's first roles. When I watched it, I didn't know who Corey Stoll was, so he kind of just flew under the radar for me. Mm-hmm. But one that surprised me years after I watched it is Michael T. Williamson, who everyone will know as Bubba from Forrest Gump. He's just I don't know. I feel like he's always just a chameleon, like blending into the movies he's in. Like I never know it's him until after I watch the movie. And then I'm on either through the credits or on IMDb. But yeah, I love pretty much every character in this. They all add something.
Going back to Corey Stoll real quick, just so many great bald white men in this movie, man. It's like, how did they do it? How did they pull everybody together? And then they gave one of the bald white men hair in this. How could you do such a slanderous thing?
Wait, did Bruce Willis not have hair back then?
No. He always wore.
That was a
wigs.
good wig. That's a good wig. I was like, oh, he's younger in this. He had hair. Whatever.
in Die Hard, you could clearly see that it was going away, and then every other one has been like he's just a little plant of hair. Since then. So, I mean, Bruce Willis, Ben Kingsley, Stanley Tucci, Kevin Chamberlain as well, and then Corey Stoll. So many great bald white men who aren't absolute lunatics in their rights.
Yes.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I was like, damn, that's a lot of bald white dudes in this movie.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's Lucy Liu, who... This is the second movie with Lucy Liu that I've seen this year. The other one, Watching the Detectives, I want to see, which is also like a comedy kind of based on noirs with Cillian Murphy. And she just is such a charming actress. Like,
oh my God,
no matter what character she's playing, like you're just like, you're rooting for her no matter what she's doing. Except for maybe I haven't seen Kill Bill in a while. Maybe not in Kill Bill because she's going against
you're not necessarily
the bride, but
rooting for her in that one.
Yeah, just a bloodbath. But she was still she's alive. She is she's a great actress and just has such charisma. I will not say the shortened version that Gen Z says because I am too old to be saying that. But
luckily it doesn't really attest to this what you're trying to tell.
Yeah, but I was just infatuated.
She's got mad riz, dude.
Yeah, she's. Yep. To be clear, any Gen Z watching, I don't have a problem with the slang. I just have a problem with people my age using that slang.
Yeah,
because we're too old to be using it.
But especially in this movie, what you're talking about, she just exuded charisma in this, and just was so just on top of it, and just was playing detective, and just being there, and just it was so fun just having her on screen, and just again the chemistry between her and Josh Hartnett too was great.
In a way, it made her being a mortician or a coroner, I forget exactly what she is, seem slightly unbelievable. Not because women can't be morticians / coroners, but because she was just so bubbly. It was just like, how are you also working with the dead all the time and this bubbly at the same time?
I think my problem with that is just like how convenient she just was a coroner.
Well, yeah. It did feel kind of shoehorned in.
That's what kind of it didn't take me out that much, but I was like, oh, well, that's convenient as fuck right there, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really my only flaw with her character. Even if you want to even call that a flaw, it was just like a mild. I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And it's not like they
also,
planned
what
her
if
to
Bruce
be that
Willis went
either.
for a headshot at the end?
Listen, man, he knew how he takes shots. Yeah. He knew, and if he takes a headshot, he would have told her, "Hey, just wear a helmet under your hair." Just. Titanium.
Could you just imagine like a giant beehive wig?
Yeah.
Just like, hi.
Just came in from a character from Hairspray.
Yeah.
For work.
But yeah, I'm surprised at how much this movie held up for me. Obviously, there are some aged things such as their treatment of the gay character in this. But like it wasn't even like that bad. It was just like
I was about to say, even then it didn't feel that bad. Obviously, this is quoting the movie. They called the gay son a fairy, but it's not like
that's what I'm saying. Like that's the worst thing that was said.
It was like Morgan Freeman stating that he was a gay man, and it's not like they pushed that even further and like kept like antagonizing that fact that he is gay.
Yeah.
It just, especially how much Ben Kingsley loved his son. Even though he was gay, I think even though he was a rabbi and that was kind of against its religion, but he just loved his son so much. So it's not like they really just kept pegging that on the fact that he was gay and bad. It was just a one-time thing. Called him a fairy and then moved on from it. It was clean, clean as you can get.
Yeah, but like in quality wise too, it holds up really well. Like it's just. It has such a nice flow to it and is entertaining pretty much from beginning to end that it's just
2 hours too. It didn't even feel like it.
Yeah. It's a really fast 2 hours. It's like blink and you'll miss it in a way. And it's I don't know. I remembered as it was happening. I remembered how much I actually remembered of the movie.
Yeah,
and maybe just forgot it was from this movie. Like the scene in the airport. I didn't remember Bruce Willis was in it, but I remember like that white airport that was empty, someone sleeping on a bench, and then the guy in all black sitting there. And also, I knew that there was a movie where Josh Hartnett had a little version of him that was great casting.
Actually, he was really like spot on.
Yeah, Oliver Davis. It looked like a young Josh Hartnett, and it was just, like that the second he walked in to the casting, they were just like, "Yeah,
yep." They're like, "We got the gold, baby.
We got him. He might not be the best actor, but he's gonna look like him. That's for sure."
There was early in this movie. You might know the voice actor, but Josh Hartnett, the way he spoke in this movie and kind of his cadence of how he talked and like the lows when he talked sounded a lot like Nolan North and like from the Uncharted games.
I only know it because of you.
Yeah, but he sounded so much like it. It was freaking me out, and it got me thinking that like, damn, if they made an Uncharted movie, he can't really. He can do it now probably, but if they did it. How much I didn't think of how good Josh Hartnett would have been as Nathan Drake.
He'd probably be better than Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Nothing against Tom Holland, but it just from what you've told me of Uncharted, Tom Holland wasn't.
He was not it.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Whereas like Josh Hartnett, I could see him being like the lucky, clumsy.
Oh
guy.
My god! And especially how fucking witty he was in this movie.
Yeah.
Pitch perfect. I don't know, to a T.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a great movie. Absolutely, it is slept on. I forgot how much I forgot about this movie until I rewatched it, today, and just like how I was like, damn, oh my god, yeah, that happened. Oh shit, yeah, that happened too. and just bringing back all the memories of rewatching. I was like, damn, there's
Yeah.
a reason why I love this so much. There's a reason why
movie.
2006 me was obsessed.
That's kind of reminds me of when I rewatched Dune this week. I text you that I was rewatching Dune, and like I didn't remember maybe half of that movie.
It's going to be the same for me, and I really wish I watched it before we go tomorrow.
Yeah, but like I was watching it and like I checked, no joke, at least 10 times to make sure that it wasn't an extended version I was watching.
Yeah.
Because like while I remembered every scene, the scene went on longer than I thought
Yep.
and established things that were just like, oh, okay. And it's I don't know. It made more sense. And I know that's how it is when you rewatch movies, but like usually you remember things and then it still makes more sense. But this time I was just like, I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help. Dune's also a little tricky, too.
Yeah.
Spies.
But yeah, with this, I was just like, with Lucky Number Slevin, I was like, I remembered it, but didn't remember that I remembered it. If that makes sense.
It does make sense,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
okay.
It's a Kansas City shuffle.
It is. Everybody's looking left. Got to pay attention
You
to
go right.
the other way around, whatever
Yeah.
it was. Everybody's looking to the right. Anyway,
No, everyone looks left and you go right or something like that.
speaking of right, I don't have too much else to say about it.
Me neither. I'm happy to get into the judgment.
Let's get into that bad boy.
Yeah, so that is our review for Lucky Number 11. That brings us to the judgment. As always, it needs to be unanimous decision whether or not it goes to KFR Shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden, Glen, Judgment, Button the Third. You picked this, so you get to go first.
I did, and
Does this go on the shelf?
It's funny that it's my turn because right now I was thinking, man, Lucky Number 11 was so good. Smoking Aces was a product of my time back in 2006, and I was like, what other movies were like that at the time as well? I'm like,
Yes.
Wanted as well. That came out roughly around the same time, and it just popped up on IMDb.
What movie?
Wanted.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like Wanted, but
Oh, that's okay.
Morgan Freeman's also in that.
He is.
He says, shoot this motherfucker in the head.
Yeah, but curve the bullet. This movie's amazing. Completely slept on. I wish more people would talk about it. We only talked about it for about half an hour, if that. But I think people should talk about it more, watch it, and just have fun with it. It's a fun movie. It's witty.
Yeah.
It's great. It's charismatic. It's got
Ben
Riz.
Kingsley. Ben Kingsley's still my favorite character, and I don't know what it is about him.
He's grounded.
Yeah.
It's not like he's overacting or anything. He's just a grounded mob boss who's trying to protect his son and fucking kill dudes, man.
Yes.
I mean, everybody was fun in this. I thought it was a fantastic movie. Still one of my favorites, honestly.
Yeah.
Top movie ever over everything else. That's right.
It's your favorite movie?
No, but it's up. It's up there. I don't know where I was going. But anyway, it goes on the list for me. It goes on
Yes.
that little shelfie poo.
Yes. I would. You know what? 18-year-old me would agree. I really made this movie my personality for at least 3 months after watching it. Told everyone to watch it. No one listened.
I can
'cause
only
they never
imagine a
listened.
little Mike at that time.
But does 34-and-a-half-year-old me? I don't know why I said a half, like I'm 2 years old. 34-year-old me, does he think this goes on the shelf?
Oh?
Oh, look at that, Lucy Liu being
Uh-huh.
charismatic and gorgeous. Yes! And it's
Yes!
not just for Lucy Liu. It does go on the list. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely slept on. It's a fun movie. It's got Lucy Liu. Got Josh Hartnett. Got the greatest casting for a child Josh Hartnett that I've
Absolutely.
ever seen, at least visually. It's just a great movie all around. So, yes, Lucky Number 11 does go on the KFR shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden. That brings us to our movie for next episode. As always, the third time in a cycle, it is Streaming Roulette. For those of you who don't know, we spin the very real streaming roulette wheel the size of Rhode Island. It has all of the movies that we have access to via our streaming services. We spin it 3 times, and then we pick the one that we want to watch the most. Last time, it graced us with A Cult Is My Passport, a very great movie that made it on the KFR shelf. So, without any further ado, here comes spin number 1. Will it grace us again? Ooh, Under the Skin.
Oh, wow.
Have you seen this?
You're going to have to block your monitor at all times for that
Yes! I might just play a different Scarlett Johansson movie.
I have watched this one, yeah.
Yes, this is going to be on HBO Max. Directed by Jonathan Glazer, written by Walter Campbell, Jonathan Glazer, and Michelle Faber, starring Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy McWilliams, Lindsay Taylor McKay, and Dougie McConnell. Oh, I don't know why I struggled so
thought
hard
you were
with
going to
that.
say Dougie McFresh or something like that.
A mysterious young woman seduces lonely men in the evening hours in Scotland. However, events lead her to begin a process of self-discovery. So full disclosure, the first time I watched this movie, I didn't like it, but I really wanted to be rewatching it because I'm a different person now.
Yeah.
And I'm also not going to be tired when I watch it like I was the first time I watched it.
I mean, that would definitely help.
If we choose it. If we choose it. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Same director as The Zone of Interest, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Under the Skin is the first spin. Here comes spin number 2. Violence at Noon from 1966. Why at noon, huh? Why not at a different time?
1966. Because,
It's a Japanese movie, it looks
again.
like. Yeah, Japanese movie.
We love to see it. High noon, man.
It's going to be on Criterion Channel. I should have known.
It is raining its ass off, it sounds like.
Yes, not here, but director Nagisa Hashima, written by Taijun Takeda and Tsutomu Tamura. Again, I apologize for mispronouncing these. Starring Seida Kawaguchi, Akiko Koyama, Kai Sato, and Roka Tura. It is 2 young women must come to terms with the fact that a man they're deeply linked is a murdering rapist.
Damn.
That took a dark turn. I was not expecting it, especially from the 60s. But that is Violence at Noon, Criterion Channel. That is our second one. And here comes spin number 3. Lux Eterna. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's that Scandinavian. However you do that. I think it's a Scandinavian.
It's pronounced like a K or some shit, isn't it? That's Elon Musk named his son with that thing.
not in. I'm pretty sure not in Nordic or Scandinavian languages. Anyway, written and directed by Gaspar Noé. Oh gosh, it's 51 minutes. Do we want to include this?
I mean, yeah.
Sure.
Short film?
Gaspar Noé, 51 minutes, so it's probably going to feel like 5 hours. Starring Beatrice Daly, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Abby Lee, Claude Emmanuel Gaujonmal. It is 2 actresses, Beatrice Daly and Charlotte Gainsbourg. Oh, they play themselves. Are on a film set telling stories about witches, but that's not all. Lux Eterna is also an essay on cinema, the love of film, and on-set hysterics. That is going to be on AMC Plus. Do I have that?
You know, This sounded familiar, but I think it's a Metallica song.
Oh, is this a Metallica?
It is a Metallica song. That makes so much more sense.
It's just as a Metallica concert thing?
No. It's an actual thing, but it sounded so familiar because Metallica just came out with a song called Lux Eterna.
Oh, well, so it's on Tubi and Freevee, and then AMC Plus and Shudder if you have it. So yes. That's that.
That is that.
Yeah. So we have Lux Eterna, Violence at Noon, Under the Skin. Nothing wrong with people who like Gaspar Noé, but I do not care for the movies I've seen of his. I have not seen all of them. So I personally don't really want to watch that, even though it is the shortest. It will probably feel the longest.
It is also an epilepsy attack waiting to happen.
Yes, I mean, just watch. I hate that he does that.
Yeah.
So I'm for Violence at Noon or Under the Skin. Do you have a thought on either of them?
I mean, when Under the Skin came up, I was definitely leaning for that for sure. But I don't know. Violence at Noon's got pretty interesting pretty quick.
Yeah, it did.
And my curiosity wants to leap in that. Damn, I don't know.
This is difficult because I want to watch both.
I remember Under the Skin for the most part. I don't know how long of a review that would be, honestly, from me.
Yeah.
Most of it would probably be talking about her being naked in the movie for the first time.
Yeah, that's not conducive to an intelligent podcast.
Yeah.
As much as I like talking about Riz.
Yeah, not saying that that's why I would talk about it, just that that's a huge
She's
thing
real
that
naked
happened.
in it, Glenn. She's real naked. Yeah, I'm fine with doing Violence at Noon. Oh, see, the second I said that, should we just do a coin flip?
It's I think Violence at Noon would probably make for better conversation wise, at least. Under the Skin it's a slow movie.
Yeah, I have to.
But it's not bad. It's just a very slow paced movie.
Yeah, I am going to rewatch it at some point just because of that. But Violence at Noon then?
I think so.
All right, so Violence at Noon is our assignment for next week. That can be found on Criterion, 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, and doesn't look like a Metacritic score. So that is our assignment for next week. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. As always, you can check out our website at www.keystonefilmreview.com. On Instagram, we're Keystone_film_review. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Keystone Film Review. And on Letterboxd, I am Mike, KFR.
And I'm Glen, KFR.
And that will do until next week when we watch a movie that it got real fast.
It did.
And it's our second Japanese movie of the year? Maybe third? I don't remember.
I think so.
Oh, no, it's our second. Yeah, it's our second. So, is streaming Roulette just becoming Japanese movie week?
I'm okay with it, man. It's like sushi going on that conveyor belt thing around at the mall. We're just like, oh, I'll take that one.
Oh. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.